Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and this is B.fleye Beauty, and today I wanted to talk about something that's been on my heart lately, and that is how to find joy in your day-to-day life. So I have 5 tips for you. Some of them you might want to do, some of them you're going to be kind of against. But they've just been things that have really worked for me. It is something that I personally struggle with. I really struggle at my job right now. There are some relationship things that I struggle with, and it's stuff that I can personally take responsibility for and make a change in. And so these are the 5 things that I've been working on and using every single day to really change my mindset and find the joy even when I'm not super happy with where my life is at the moment. And when I say life, I don't necessarily mean like I hate everything about my life. I want to make that very clear. We spend the majority of our waking moments at our jobs, whether it's a career we love, our own business, whatever it is, a meaningless job we go to because that's all we have right now. If it's not where we want to be, there is a way to still find joy in that. So that's a big struggle for me right now, and that's something that takes up so much of my day. And I was like, well, if I'm not gonna change that part yet, right, which I do have a plan for, and you guys probably know that already, then until then, I need to change my mindset, or I'm gonna be a terrible person, and I'm gonna be frustrated and sad and just without joy every day, and I don't want that. So my top 5 tips actually start with a precursor and this is something my grandpa used to say. My grandpa was a Baptist preacher, and if you don't know, I grew up independent fundamental Baptist, and he said a lot of amazing things. He was a super generous guy. He literally gave away everything he ever had, and he always lived with joy. And he didn't have a lot, and my family's been through a lot. So his big motto when it came to joy in particular was how you spell joy. And that's Jesus for J, others, O, U, Y. And I find that being a Christian, I am still a Christian, that really resonates with me, because though it is important to take care of ourselves and to, you can't take care of other people unless you take care of yourself first. However, there is a separate mindset in the secular world versus the spiritual world. And the secular world is me first, all the time. And to some extent, like I just said, we do have to do that, right? I can't take care of somebody else if I am unhealthy mentally or physically. However, when I make decisions, they are based on other people. I might want to do something selfishly, but in the Christian mindset, you are supposed to be living for others. So if you take that order of things, Jesus, right, God being, for me personally, the first thing in my life, others being the second, myself being last. And again, you have to take that in a way that you are not beating yourself to the ground. You are not doing things for others when you are not mentally fit. You guys are smart, you understand what I'm saying. If you are not a Christian, this can be a spiritual practice for you to come first, right? The idea that you are not the most important thing. And when we think about the world we're in right now and the pandemic, I think the United States is supposed to be this huge Christian nation, and we are not necessarily living as a whole like God would want us to live in this way. Thinking about others first, not, oh, well, what do I want to do, right? Thinking about loving others. And so I think that's a really great example of that, kind of sacrificing of self. And that's the precursor. So that's how I have joy in my day-to-day life without ever trying, is I feel like God is there for me. I mean, I know he is, but if you're not a Christian, that's probably hard to understand. But that is my hope, that is my support, that is my rock. If I didn't have that, I'd probably be completely broken. But that's my precursor, right? So that's innately where my joy comes from, because to me, joy and happiness are 2 different things. Now, putting that to the side, what are things that I personally do? What are those 5 things that I do every single day? And the first thing is I'm taking a walk outside in the sun, praying that the sun is out where you are. I know this is the season of like sometimes that sun isn't out and it can make us depressed. That definitely affects me. It's not necessarily the cold, but I need that sun. Even if you just take a walk around your block, 5-10 minutes, getting in the sun, I am telling you, it makes all the difference. Just sitting on your front porch, if you got a porch, you are very lucky. Looking up into the sun, just closing your eyes and letting that melt on you, wear your sunscreen. I will come and beat down your door if you are not wearing sunscreen. But there is just something about that that will completely change your mood. It can completely change your mood. Also, getting that physical activity, getting the blood flowing. In the morning, I tend to take a really long morning and I like to sit on my couch kind of in the dark with my cat, drink my coffee, catch up on work emails and stuff. And if I'm not careful, I can get stuck there. It's very comfortable. But as soon as I take my body outside, it really does make a difference and it gets me going for the day. Whether you do it in the morning or at night, on your lunch break, I just think it's super, super important. My second tip is having something to look forward to. Now, this could be a dinner with your girlfriends. This could be a bubble bath at the end of the night with your favorite book. This could be just looking forward to that morning cup of coffee with maybe an extra little treat on the side. It could be getting to work on a project when you get home from work. It could be something as simple as just getting to see your loved ones when you get home. But putting that in your mind the night before, okay, tomorrow I have something great to look forward to. It might not be work for me. I dread leaving the house. I want to stay at home. I want to take care of my home. I want to learn this new business I'm into. But if I can get my butt going and think, what do I have to look forward to today? After work, I have this. Great, I can make it through work for this many hours because I have this waiting for me. Or I can wake up in the morning because I have this waiting for me. So thinking about what that might be, again, it doesn't have to be something expensive. It doesn't have to be something unhealthy. It could be something very, very simple as a hug from someone you haven't seen. Okay, tip number 3, I've actually talked about this a little bit. This is the hardest one for me personally. I take things very personally. It is part of my personality type. And I really struggle with things that happened to me as a kid, which I'm sure most of us do. And so in my current relationship, whether that's at work or Freddie, like my dude, things might hurt me personally in a way that was not intended. Or annoy me in a way that I might take and hold on to for way too long. And so really this third tip is just about letting a little shit go. Like, it does not matter. If that person was on their deathbed, was this the thing you would be thinking about? Like, this is the example I gave before because it was the example given to me, is let's say that you do not like someone's shoes being by the door all the time. Well, what if one day those shoes weren't there? Woo, that makes me like tear up a little bit. Would it freaking matter? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, I'm not talking about big abuse. I'm not talking about regular abuse from a person. You clearly should not be letting that go. I'm talking about little annoyances. Just really thinking about big picture. At work, it's really, really hard for me to let little things go, or things that don't affect me or will not affect me when I leave this job. Okay, that's gonna happen next year. I'm not gonna be here next year. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna be angry about it and I'm gonna do what I can about it, but I'm not gonna let it infiltrate my soul and my being and my pores and my every single minute of every single day, because that is going to rip the joy from me. And I cannot live like that. No one can live like that. So just, again, that's the hardest one for me, but that is really letting little shit go. Okay, I really love this one, and I think this one might be hard for other people. This one is not as hard for me, but that is getting up earlier in the morning to have some quiet time for yourself. And you can use that quiet time for whatever you want. If that's watching YouTube and drinking your coffee and being with your dog, if that is going on a walk, if that is meditation and prayer, if that's you reading your Bible in the morning, that's doing a creative project, that's the only time you have to do it. Even 15 minutes earlier changes your world. Now, I personally take, I need at least 2 hours in the morning. That's because I need enough time to relax my body and to go to the bathroom and to get my caffeine in and to do like all the things that I personally want to do. You might not need 2 hours. However, I would really recommend just trying to get up 15 minutes earlier to have that quiet time. There is something about quiet time where even if you live alone, the idea that there's not all these loud everyday sounds coming from outside, just that stillness and quiet with your thoughts, it can just really change your mindset. You can use that time to find something to be grateful and thankful for. You can use that time to talk to yourself nicely if you're not someone who talks to yourself nicely. It can just be a lot of different things. Even if you just sit in silence, highly recommend 15 minutes earlier than you normally would get up. It's hard at first, but it really, really pays off. Lastly is to greet and leave your people every single day with a hug, with a kiss, with an I love you. If you live alone, it could be greeting your work friends and work associates with a good morning, a look in the eye. Being noticed is really important, having that contact, especially with social media. We don't have to have that as much, and the pandemic has really ruined that for a lot of us. So just having that human interaction, genuine, heartfelt interaction, even if it's just a good morning, I am so glad to see you today. Or when you come home, whatever kind of day you've had, is to kiss your partner, give them a hug, tell them that you love them, ask how their day was. I don't know what it is about those little simple things, but I've noticed that they are missing from the world in general. High schoolers do count. I want to say they don't count, but they do count, and they are really struggling with that. And I think that we can be examples by bringing that back. It also changes your mindset if you are upset with the person you live with. Giving them a hug, giving them a kiss, telling them that you love them, asking them about their day, resets your view of that person, and you're like, why was I upset again? Like, I love this person. This is stupid. I give those examples because I live with my boyfriend, and that might be my personal experience. It might be a kid for you. It might be someone at work. But there's, I think her name is is it Caroline Leaf, maybe? I'll put her name here. But the way we talk to ourselves and the way our mindset is can actually rewire our brain. So that's a whole nother thing, but these are the things that I have personally worked on and that I have noticed have made a huge change in me and my day and have made me more joyful. And I think that they will help you too. If it's not something you are already implementing, let me know down below which one of the 5 is your favorite, which one of the 5 is the hardest for you. And if you have any tips for me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.